Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from TCG, bringing you guys some locals gameplay. This week, I took RP Luffy to a store in Summit called Game Night. Cool little store. Just opened up, started hosting locals for about a month now. But I'm facing my buddy Moose Scan. Call him King of Slow Play. You'll see why in the video. But I opened up with a Nami and ended up searching the zero cost event. Unfortunately, after my mulligan, all I had was top end cards. None of my ramps, which I have the Bonclay or the Zoro. So real slow start. So I end up just swinging, attaching 3 Dawn to the Nami, swinging at him for 5. Here, I think he ends up countering out of this, but I swing 6 with my lead. He takes this one. Drops the pudding, which honestly, if he would have played pudding on me, I would have been so happy because I needed a fresh start. I believe I had like 2 Rayleighs, New Gates, and 7 drop in hand with nothing else. So I pass over to Moose. He plays out a Weevil and draws a card. He also KO'd my Nami with the leader swing. So you could take the pressure off. I attach 2 Dawn on my leader. Here he's gonna take it. And then I'm gonna tap 3, play out Zoro. Which in this matchup, if I wasn't able to play Zoro on turn 3, I'm kind of behind because now he could just easily play Bounce Law and just bounce it straight back to my hand. But right here, this is where you're going to see why we call him Slow King. And I fast forwarded it for you guys, so it's on ×3. It's going to take forever to figure out the turn because with RP Luffy, it does make, the turn a little awkward since you're going to have to attach a Dawn to even swing. With Dofy, you pretty much usually attach 2 Dawn and do leader ability, but he was trying to figure out how to, be able to play Bounce Law and still put pressure on my leader. Because the Bounce Law is going to bounce to Zoro and prevent me from actually being able to ramp next turn, which is exactly what he needs to do. So now we're back to regular time. He's gonna swing 6 with the Weevil here, or he's gonna swing 7, but decides to change it and do 6 instead. And I end up taking it because again I have no counter, and I draw a 7 cost kid. Swing 7, and I give him a 0 cost and another card from hand because I don't want to go down to 1 life this early in the game. But to be quite honest with you, this deck can. So I honestly could have taken that life to see if I got a better option, which I honestly should have because my hand is horrible right now. And then I could have potentially found something else to use while saving my 0 cost event and Rayleigh for later in the game. So there he goes. He plays the bounce off, bounces to prone, or bounces Zoro back to my hand. And then here, Moose kicks the camera. And we had to reposition it again. Big back activities is what we like to tell the man. But right back to the game. This turn he makes it awkward, so I believe I have to do a 7-drop kid, which isn't terrible. It's a good play for me. Buffs my leader up to 7k leader because it's an on play and when attacking. Dawn -1 to give an extra 1,000 to your leader. If he didn't bounce the Zoro, I would have swung with the Zoro, ramped up to 8, ramped with my leader ability to 9, and I would have played Rayleigh to -3 and -2 to the Weevil and the Law to KO both to at least start establishing board presence. But the kid is going to have to do, I swung 7 and he ended up countering out. But now it's going to make it a little bit more awkward for him to, be able to swing at lead because now if he wants to swing with the Law, he's going to attach 2 Dawn. And vice versa again. Leader ability is usually a 7k swing, but you'd only get like a 1k counter out of hand with this RP Luffy. So I currently have 6 cards in hand, and I would say at least 4, maybe 6 of those cards are actually bricks in hand right now. So I had a real terrible start. He ends up playing the bounce law, and then here, or not bounce law, but the one that returns himself. So the original bounce law. If your opponent has 6 cards or more in hand, you could bounce it back to your hand, and then they bottom deck a card. So I end up bottoming, I think, a new gate because I had 2 in hand, which is unfortunate. It would have been great to have, but I needed something different. So he swings 7, plays out the boa. The 7's gonna turn into an 8K. I was able to get out of the 7 swing with Nami, but I end up getting a rad beam, and I'm gonna choose to save it just because I could use it later in the game. So I give him the Zoro that he bounced back, and now I'm at 9 Don, I believe, with 6 in hand. I have Newgate in hand, but I decide to save it, and I'm gonna play out another 7-drop kid. And I do this to get my leader up to a consistent 8K, which will make it super weird for him. He's gonna have to attach 2 Don to basically his Weevil and Boa to just swing, and 3 Don to leader. So the kid hits the field, Don minus, buffs the leader to 7. I'm gonna swing, I believe, 8. Oh, well, before I swing, I do play the Nami out. And here I'm searching for any type of counter. Mainly, I'm looking for the 10-drop Luffy so that I could do 10-drop, restart, give myself a extra turn to just potentially go for lethal. But I did not find it. I'm running 3 of them in the deck, too. So put 8 at the Weevil, Don minus. Puts the leader at 8K now. He's going to give me 2 cards out of his hand, which I believe at this moment he's got at least 8 to 9. And then I swing 8 again, which gives me another 4. So I just took 4 cards out of hand that turn. And I opted to go for board instead of life just because Dofi doesn't really care too much about their life. You know, they want to protect the board to put pressure on. So that's where I'm going to dwindle the hand a lot more and then put myself in a better position for lethal, especially since I'm playing a lot of top-end cards. But now, again, he's going to have to try to figure out how to swing at me because if he wants to attack with the Weevil or the Boa, he needs 2 Don on each just to barely hit me. And that means 3 Don on his leader. So no matter what, there's 1 card he's not going to swing at me with just because it throws off the entire turn. So he ends up playing a Boa. On play, look at top 3 cards, reorganize it how you want, and then move a rest of Don wherever on the field. Not bad. Again, he's basically setting up his next turn, or his leader swing, and still able to apply somewhat of pressure because in any other normal deck, you could apply whatever pressure you want to the leader, but me being a 6-cost base stat throws it all for a loop. So the rest of Don goes on his leader. And I believe, obviously, I think he stacks the Jinbei here. But he swings 8 at lead. I give him a 1K, which is the Bon Clay. I could have used that early in the match, which would have been perfect. And then now he's attaching 3, swinging for 9 at leader. Ends up playing a Jinbei. Jinbei does not play anything out, so I give him a 2K counter. I accidentally threw a Newgate on the field. But it was meant to be my 2K. I was shuffling the cards around in my hand a lot. But yeah, as you can see, he went completely wide here. Honestly, what I could have did was play out Newgate, got myself to a 10K lead. But then he could have still swung out and got my board and put me in a real bad spot. But instead, I'm going to opt to play Rayleigh. And Rayleigh, on play, you could give 2 of your opponent's characters, one minus 3,000, the other one minus 2. And then you KO a 3K or less. So I'm going to choose both of the Boas. And I'm going to pop one of the Boas. And I do this just to alleviate some type of pressure because the status that the Rayleigh gives will stick until the start of my next turn. So the Boa will be a 4K. So I end up popping one of the Boas, and I do this to, again, alleviate the pressure. And now I'm going to swing 8 into the Weevil. Don minus, putting my leader at a 7k. And then I'm going to swing the other kid at the Jinbei, do ability again. And then that'll put me at an 8k stat. So here, I could have did leader ability, but I believe I didn't because I don't have anything really to play, so I didn't care for doing it, but it still would have tripped them out seeing 3 Don up. But yeah, I left 2 Don up to make them think that I have double Rad Beam. I think currently I only have 1 Rad Beam in hand. But yeah, now he's down to like 4 or 5 cards. He had a board full of 5 characters. Now he's down to 2. Boa is currently only 4k, so it'd be very costly to put to be able to swing at me. So I end up taking that hit just so I could see if I could find the 10 cost Luffy, because if I found the 10 cost secret Luffy, that would have solidified a win for sure. But I did not, unfortunately. Here he's looking at his hand, but he's gonna just slap all the Don on leader, go for it. I'm gonna use the 1 Don and play out a Rad Beam to get me to 12. And then he passes turn. Here, I could have played it a lot different. What I could have did was, I do have a 1 cost Nami searcher. I could have played that out to see what I could have found and then decide how I wanted to do my turn. I decided to do it last, however, so you're gonna see what could have been done different. But I play out the new gate, buff my leader to 8. Then I'm gonna swing the kid to the law to buff my leader to 9. And then after that, I believe I just swing out with the kid and the Rayleigh to, or the other kid, or the Rayleigh and lead to life. So you're gonna see here, he's got 5 in hand. So I do a kid to the law, and then he's gonna counter out of the kid swing, and then he's gonna take Rayleigh and Luffy. But what I was talking about with the Nami, if I would have played the Nami first, I did see a Rad Beam in the life, or in my search, so I could have grabbed the Rad Beam and held on to 2 Don up instead of playing the new gate, because with the 2 kids on board, it would have brought me up to 8, and then I could have Rad Beamed all the way up to like a 16k, and I had a 1k in hand, so could have got out of a 17k swing, and then he would only have a Bull and a Dofi leader, so it would have threw off his numbers completely, and I could have got out of it in 1 if I played it like this. But I decided to try my luck in Nami search right here to try to find a 2k counter, and I only end up finding a 1k. If I found a 2k, I would have got out of this last swing, because he's going to slap all the Don on his Boa blocker and swing at me. Currently, I'm at a 10k, but I only have a Rad Beam and 2 1ks, which is exactly 16, and I lose the game. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below what you guys thought, and catch you on the next one.